Welcome back to the Tailosive EV podcast, ladies and gentlemen.
No,
we need to talk to
Drew,
Randy and Mike.
nobody cares. Right now, the Tesla drivers need to talk. So,
Go ahead. Take it away.
did
I'm
it
out.
happen for you, Mike?
I did press a button today. It wasn't this button, but it was the FSD button. Finally,
So,
it exists.
does that
It
mean we
happened.
can confidently say lol about some stuff? 2 weeks? My
Lol
goodness,
with a
guys.
U.
We are
Yeah,
here.
but we technically don't even have. Well, we have the button. We just don't have the beta yet.
But the very first thing I did, and it's funny because then Drew texted us, and I already did it. The very first thing I did is I took the safest drive I've ever done in my 31 years of life. I 10 and 2'd it.
He wrote the speed limit,
Blink-
used his
oh,
blinkers.
Below speed limit. I didn't even
I don't
have
think you're even
music
supposed to 10
playing
and 2 anymore.
just in case. Just in case it's doing audio inside. I turned off the music, and I just sat there for like 5 minutes. Got on the little freeway.
10 and 2.
10 and 2.
Eyes wide open.
Blinkers before I do anything. I didn't California roll. I came to a complete stop.
You Virginia
Virginia.
stopped.
Yeah. So that's how I took my thing. What did you do, Mike?
I drove down some crazy roads, and
Uh-oh.
it's gonna be pretty funny when whatever computer or analyst looks at that data. I don't know about you, Randy. I don't have the. There's a whole entire forum post that Tesla output for this whole safety update or whatever for the FSD beta or safety rating. And there's supposed to be a new page or something like that in the app for your Tesla. And I can't find that page in terms of...
Within the app, I didn't see anything. The only thing I
Yeah.
saw within the app was I can now see how many miles I have from the charge limit.
Do you know which version of the app you're running?
I can tell you.
I'm running the new one.
Yeah, the one
okay.
I updated today.
Yeah, but I think my theory is that, or after reading a lot of the forum post or whatever about the safety update, it seems like it's going to take a while for the app to tell you what your score is out of, I think, 100 in terms of how safe you are as a driver based on like 5 different merits. Yeah.
Okay.
But I don't know. We'll see if it appears at some point or if that's just in a future update with the app and it'll just be a little minor patch update, at least for your phone. But nothing new really
I'm
you
seeing
say
it
it's
show
gonna
up
be
for
a
some
while.
people.
Oh, yeah. Like, what do you mean? Like a while?
I'm like Tesla owners online tweeted out in the new app version they see their safety score based on today's driving behavior.
Really?
So I'm not sure if it shows up instantly for everyone, but I'm seeing it show up for a few different people.
Well, I did like
They all have 100.
I did like a 40-minute round trip drive. So
Weird.
Okay.
People said restart app or the phone. So that's something we could do while recording the podcast.
I guess I'll do it right now.
I'll do it
Needs
on
like
my
a hard reboot.
iPhone 11.
Hard reboot on the iPhone 12. Yeah. I still have
We'll see if that works.
I still have my car paired to my 12 mini. So that's a thing.
Also, it's worth mentioning that they've kind of turned safe driving into a game now. People can keep each other in track. You could have competitions to see who's the safest possible driver. That's a good game to play.
How many G's did you pull on that turn? 0.0005.
Boo, you fail.
Do any of you have concerns with like the 5 safety factors? Do you think any of them are unfair?
One that my wife brought up was, I think, unexpected acceleration. I don't know if that is a direct pillar that they're measuring in regards to your driving behavior.
I don't see that on the list.
The one
Wait,
that I
what-
see
what's
is
the
like
list?
unexpected, like acceleration when
Unexpected
turning.
item in bagging area.
No.
What
So
are the
was it?
pillars?
So they call it improving your safety score, and so they list forward collision warnings per 1,000 miles, hard braking, aggressive turning, unsafe following, and forced autopilot disengagement. So I believe the collision warning is you not maintaining a safe distance between you and the car in front of you. Hard braking is kind of the same. You're not really anticipating what's happening in front of you safe enough. So I think they take that as a negative. Aggressive turning, I guess, is all about not turning so quick around corners and exceeding a certain amount of Gs. Unsafe following, which...
That's not the same as the collision warning.
Yeah, maybe not then.
No, unsafe following is basically like tailgating from the description I see. It's like if you're traveling at a high speed and there's not much room in front of you to the car. That makes sense to me. There's less time to react. There's less time to change something.
The first and fourth pillar then are very similar. Or at least it is to me in regards to...
Oh, you're right, Drew. I restarted, and there it is. Safety score, beta.
Yay, it worked. Okay, we got it.
I'm a 99.
Nice.
Not 100? What'd you do? What'd you do?
I told you. Here, I'll send you.
Watch me have like a 60. And for the last one, I guess the last one for the listeners, forced autopilot disengagement, where the autopilot system has to tell you to disengage, and you have to manually steer after so many times of trying to get your attention.
Well, I guess forward collision warning is if the car ABS activates, right?
I believe. Well, that could be part of it.
I'm looking at the site right now.
Are we saying
and I believe that's like
auto? No. You're saying wait.
The first
collision. Yeah, collision normally ABS that. Yeah.
Yeah, when something jumps in front of you and it detects that you are not the one who stopped the vehicle.
Yeah.
And the car had to intervene, that counts as like a dock, I guess, because it's like we had to take over and you weren't paying attention. Whereas the unsafe following thing is more about high speed, being not having a wide enough follow distance.
I see.
So I think they do kind of overlap a bit, but I think hard braking is the only one I would be like slightly concerned with, because I could see a lot of people doing hard braking without it being their fault.
Well, this is where you have to do human assessment, where I say the human brain and eye is better than the computer. You can anticipate looking down the road, seeing what's about to happen, and you can adjust. You're basically going back to being a very passive driver, the way the autopilot was behaving initially, where it's more timid than anything. I can see this being like you're not just going with the flow of traffic just to go with it, and when they brake, you brake so quickly. It's more of like you are doing everything you can to be safe. However, with that, if you have a bad day or you have a bad moment, just looking at the data that's in that section right there, it will accumulate over all the days, and you can look at the overall score. So it'll give you a daily score, and it's going to give you an overall score. So if you have one bad day, I got 99% instead of 100 because I know at what point I was talking with the aggressive turning. I was going to save this for the podcast. When I went for a drive, I meant to get into the right lane so I can get onto the on-ramp to get on the freeway to come back home. And when I did, I crossed over a solid white line. And I know that was taken into consideration when I should have stayed in the lane sooner. I was like, oh, wait, I need to be in that lane. So
That's amazing how much detail it can collect.
Yeah, that's the only thing I did that was where I immediately go, yeah, that's going to be noted in something. I don't know what it is, but that's 100% going to get noted.
So, Randy, for the listeners and myself, because I am an old man, where do you find this safety thing on the app?
So you rebooted the phone?
Yeah, I rebooted the phone, I rebooted the app and everything. Is it just one of the tabs?
It's right below summon, right above upgrades.
In security?
Nope.
Oh, that's weird.
Did you take a trip that was at least 0.1 miles?
Yes. I drove all the way to Starbucks and got some pumpkin spice.
Hey, wait a minute.
I'm looking at the page now.
Oh, there it is. Sorry. It's below upgrades now. What? Did it move? No way. It's below upgrades.
It moved in real time.
What'd I say? It's
see
above
the
service,
mouse.
below. upgrades. Here, I'll just
Clicking
show you.
and dragging it.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
And like double check the App Store to make sure you're on the latest version.
I believe I am. I triple checked it, and now
Okay.
that's weird.
Well, the
Strange.
only issue I could see with hard braking, like for the most part, yeah, people should be paying attention and wouldn't have to hard brake. But I've been in situations lots of times where you're driving at night and like a deer jumps out on the road when you're going 60 miles an hour and they don't move. That's going to cause some hard braking, and I don't really think that's
fair.
Your fault.
Yeah. No, but in that sense, those are the cards you're dealt, and if that means you're not going to get your FSD one day sooner or something, I don't think, honestly, just based, we only had this update for about an hour now, so I really need to test it. I don't think it's going to do as much of an impact as we are predicting it's going to. Oh, wow, that's hitting me for that. Obviously, our goal is to get 100, but that is the always goal. What if they say, as long as you're a solid 75 out of 100 for that day, and I'm at 99 after one little thing, but I was driving extremely safe. So, I don't know. And here's another thing to consider too. How many miles? Because it says I only drove 5, which sounds about right. How many miles before it's like relevant? Because it gave me a 99 based off of me doing within those 5 miles, and I did something weird. But if I drove 15 miles, I think I'd still be at a 99, but I won't. Is it going to round up? The more you drive, the lower your percentage will fall based off of all that information over those miles, I would assume. So for me, if I just drove down the block and right back and only did a mile, then anything I did would give me a hard hit, I'm sure. 25 miles?
Also, anything you do on autopilot doesn't count against you.
That's good to know. So I just want you... Wait, then why have autopilot forced disengagement be a thing?
Because
that's when autopilot's not on.
Yeah. It was having to tell you that you have to take over instead of you taking the initiative to take over.
Well, it's the only time autopilot is forcefully disengaged is either when it gets super duper confused, or I believe when you're not paying attention, when you don't have your hand on the wheel and you don't have your eyes on the road. It picks up. I believe that's what that pillar is meant for. It's like if it's detecting you're not paying attention, that'll dock your score.
Possibly, but I got that very same indicator yesterday when I was doing autopilot on a little highway that has stoplights, and I got to a stoplight and it slowly got to the crosswalk and stopped, and then after it saw a couple cars go through the intersection because I had a red light, it came up with that icon saying autopilot doesn't know what to do, basically, please take over.
Right.
Hey.
I wonder if that counts as the same thing. I'm not sure.
Okay, I see something here. I'm gonna send you guys screenshots, and I'm just gonna narrate out loud while I do it. You can open up each category: forward collision, hard braking, and there's a solid line that's in there, and it records my data. It's a dot about what is an appropriate amount. So for aggressive turning, I was pretty close to the line, which looks like it's 3.5%. Here, I'm sending you guys.
I probably exceeded that then.
Forced disengagement doesn't even give you a line, so if it even does it once, you're going to take a hard hit, I'm assuming. But not that one. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, I'd love to see if that's different from just the car panicking about something and being like, I don't know what to do. Is that different from someone just ignoring the chime and ignoring the warnings?
Yeah.
Not sure.
I have no problems not using autopilot for the next however long if that means I got to behave.
No, you should use it. That's
no, it doesn't want. But if it doesn't count towards anything, I wouldn't want to.
That's kind of a confusing
thing. It doesn't dock you. Anything autopilot does isn't counted against you.
I understand.
True, but it's not counted for you either.
And I'd rather rather have it count for me because I know I can drive better now that I'm in the rural areas. I can drive way better than if I was in San Diego. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I'd be screwed. I'm not even joking.
I'm trying to look all over the page right now, and I can't see where Tesla is stating anywhere like what's the minimum percentage. Like, is there a bar you have to be above for them to give you the beta?
Yeah. I don't know. They're not going to reveal all their secrets, I guess.
Right. It's going to be like credit scores now. People are going to be asking, like, did you get on? What was your credit score? Yeah, I got approved on this credit score.
This is a social score, a driving score.
Yeah.
This is that thing that China's doing with their people. Hi, China.
You get. Do you think Tesla's going to use this to provide better insurance rates to people with higher scores?
Yeah.
Likely.
Do you think that's a good or bad thing?
I think that's a good thing.
Good. It promotes safe driving.
It's no different
Yeah,
than...
I agree. I just saw people on Twitter getting angry about that.
Liberty Mutual or one of those guys. Like, they have but they all do it. It's all, to be honest, it's all gimmicky. Listen, after you have a long enough... the most important thing about good rates for insurance is your driving history. So some things you can't beat the system. You just have to drive well. That myth of like, oh, when you're 25, your rates go down is baloney, because you don't just magically have it drop if you've never driven a day in your life. Roughly around 7 years of driving, which is the same time as what your credit would reflect on anything, can go up to 7 years, somewhere between 2 and 7 years. If you had anything bad happen to you within those 7 years, by 25, assuming you start at 18 years old driving, it would be off your record anyway, but then you also have 7 years of data. So insurance is the exact same thing. It's just based off of your driving history. And that doesn't mean if you were in an accident and you're not found at fault. It's strictly based off of liability. So were you at fault for it? And what's the percentage of what you're at fault? Because it's not always Drew or always Mike or always Randy. It will be, well, Drew is at least 30% liable because he wasn't being focused of his surroundings. He could have braked and he didn't. Mike is 60% or 70% liable because he did not have the right of way and he still hit him. So like, that's how liability is assessed, and all those numbers are also taken into consideration. Same thing happens with your rates. I can see that happening here. It's making it
this
more...
is just the same thing, but with more data.
It's digital. It's just digital. This is stuff that's always been on paper, and this is stuff that's always been on the books or deep into the logs of websites or something. It's millennialized. That's what that is.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm just thankful, because we talked about it last week. I'm very grateful that the 0 to 60 times don't seem to dock anyone. So you can keep flooring it at stoplights as long as you're not tailgating or suddenly braking.
Yeah.
It sounds like using acceleration boost won't necessarily damage your score. It could lead to things that fall under the 5 pillars. But I know people online that don't like this. They don't care for the idea of the insurance company monitoring all of their driving habits. So
get a different insurance then. Don't go with Tesla.
Yeah.
I wouldn't go with Tesla, but just
there's always pros and cons. If you want a lower insurance rate for your electric car that is understood by the company, but you're going to be monitored a lot of the time regarding how safe you're driving, that's your sacrifice that you're going to have to make. If you want to drive a little bit more recklessly without your insurance knowing, go for Allstate or someone else who's a little bit less connected to your vehicle. Yes, Tesla will still monitor how you're driving a bit, but they're not going to directly impact, or it's not going to directly impact your insurance score, your insurance premium, or anything like that.
If you are a little a little daredevil and you want to drive recklessly and stuff like that, I would say that's your choice. You have freedom of choice. You just don't have freedom of consequences. And this is a good thing if you're a good driver. It's a bad thing if you're a bad driver. It's that simple. So if you know you're bad, like me, I'm not gonna do it because I'm not stupid. I'm a bit of a bad driver most of the time. Not to the point where I'm unsafe. Or I'm reckless.
Randy has driven me around lots of times. I didn't think you were a bad driver at all.
I'm a bad driver in the sense that I will California roll. I will go with the flow of traffic, and I'm not afraid to intersect something to get ahead of something that could be deemed, oh, that's crazy. Oh, well, it's prone to not cause an accident, but still be involved in an accident. I am not a passive driver. I am very proactive, and I can be aggressive in just like making turns and stuff like that. So like right there, sharp, I did an aggressive turn or whatever, and it docked me a point for that. That's because that's just how I drive. I'm not gonna come down to 0 miles per hour, look, and then slowly pick up the speed to 5 miles per hour, finish executing the turn, and now I did the full 90-degree turn, and then accelerate, because if that's what the law of the land is and you're not doing that, you're technically in the wrong. I won't do that. I will roll, look, and the whole time as I'm turning, I accelerate, and that's technically wrong. You shouldn't be doing that, because now you don't have visibility. Your eye's going to be on one thing. Are you looking to your left as you're turning, or are you looking to your right onto what you're about to do? Either way, you have a blind spot, which is why you should be driving slow. Things like that, the nuances of it, and honestly, it's because I used to work for Geico. I know all this weirdness of it, and I know if Geico was to assess me, I would be deemed a moderate risk. Not a high risk, but I would be somewhere between moderate, like yellow. I would be moderate to good. I'm not orange. I'm not red. I'd be a decent yellow, trying to get lime green. But I will never be green. So in that sense, I'm going to obey what Tesla's doing for me. I'm a good driver out here because I'm not in the city anymore. So that also takes into a consideration. But if you're a good driver, people should use Tesla's insurance if this helps their rates, because by all means, like you, Drew, I would suspect you would have the best rates if you had a Tesla and you don't drive as much and stuff like that. You're not a high risk candidate.
I've got some pretty insane insurance rates now already.
Yeah, because you're not a high risk customer. So the thing is, insurance companies will make their money off of the high risk people, but they don't want to cover those people. They'll make their money, but then that's the trade off insurance companies have to do. Mike is hypothetically, Mike is a high risk driver. Then I want his business because I can charge him a higher premium. But that means there's a good chance I'm paying out of pocket for some stuff that you and me would be paying for with our insurance in that scenario. But I don't know. I just don't see Tesla insurance being a deal breaker for anybody. If you already know what you are. You already know what you are when you drive, and you got good rates. With loyalty points too is a thing. Like me being with USAA, comes with loyalty. Being with them for so many years, they're like, I will never leave USAA, because the longer I stay with them, the better my rates are. So that's just history established at that point. But some people brand new, if this is your first car, this is more to our audience. If you guys are looking to get in your first Tesla, and this may possibly be your first or second car, if you're like under 25 years old or around in your mid 20s, and this is your car, I would honestly consider maybe just doing everything in-house, because I like the simplification of everything done in-house. But that's a preference, I hate multiple businesses with multiple. That bugs me so much. One less thing you got to manage.
I'd be curious what the entry score is. I think I'm trying to think of a number. My guess is going to be 95%, because Tesla is going to account for a certain amount of I don't know if you want to use the word edge cases, but times where something was done that technically lowered your score that wasn't really justified, like whether it's something jumping out at the last second and you braking, which I do think there's certain circumstances where braking really hard is the safer thing to do, and that might set off the score. I'm not sure if Tesla will be able to comprehend the context of the situation. Like if they look at the footage and see that you hard braked for a specific reason that was for safety, they'd be like, okay, let's not count that. Or is it just going to be a completely automated system that doesn't get much attention?
Yeah.
Or like I'm thinking of a circumstance at a friend's house that I visit quite regularly where it's a steep gravel driveway that goes right into a like 50 mile per hour road, single lane, two-way, but it's a very blind corner. And I've had times where I've pulled out of the driveway and another car is coming around the corner going 55, 60 miles an hour, and you just have to floor it as you're turning out of that driveway. It's a very dangerous location, but I was thinking to myself of the aggressive turning. I was like, I would probably get docked for aggressive turning every time I leave that house, because for the safety concerns, and I've seen semi-trucks go down that street at pretty high speed, and that they're not going to be able to slow down in time, which is why even though I'm turning one way, I typically am making sure no one's coming from the opposite direction, even though there's technically room for me to go, because I want there to be a place for someone coming behind me too fast to pull off and go around me if need be. So that type of thing, like, I don't know. It sounds unrealistic for them to make it 100% required, right? That would be crazy.
Yeah. No, I think maybe it'll be more of a like, hey, 90 and above, you'll get it within this amount of time based off of mileage. 85 to 90 or like, yeah, A, B plus, B minus, like they'll do it in that tier system after a certain point. But I think honestly, even if you have like a C, you'll get it. You just will have to wait 2 weeks. While we'll get it in actually 2 weeks.
What's your guess, Mike?
I don't know. I'm just upset that I don't have the button or at least the data on my app. I've been checking this whole time.
You're just so safe. There's nothing to report.
Uninstall the app and reinstall the app.
Ew.
I know.
Ew.
The worst thing
that.
you'll have to do is just pair your app to your door later when you go to your car.
Door.
You could sign in. Well, because you want to buy the quarter panel and do your thing. But maybe you should have the software at that point. If you don't have it, then you're just a good driver and you don't need it.
Apparently.
Do you think rules should be changed for people on the track?
That's
Ooh.
a good question.
Yeah, I didn't think about that. When you're on the track,
Wow.
it's still monitoring you. Someone should tweet Elon about that.
Like GPS wise, there should be a way to pick up like, oh, they're on a track. Let's not count that type of driving. Maybe
That's a great question. My God, I didn't even think about that.
Just
they
don't.
have a track mode.
Yeah, I was
on
gonna say at least on the
Model
3 and soon the Model S, you could just hit track mode, and you're good. That way the system
But there's
knows.
people that take non-performance Teslas to the track too. So.
Exactly. So that's where gets a little bit sticky in regards to. I guess you just don't get FSD on that car. Or the FSD
I feel bad
Beta.
for those people.
Maybe you can request for a manual review the way you do on YouTube videos when you're not monetized.
Yeah.
They can
It's
see
like,
every
hey.
single day that you're at the track just by the amount of G's that you're pulling on turns any given day.
I would
Right.
request a manual review before I even go to the track. Hey, Tesla, I am about to do this, and I just want this to be logged in my call with you on my account, so that way when I get hit for it, I can say this was premeditated, this is what I'm doing. And then maybe they'll be like, sorry, rules are rules. If we bend them for you, we bend them for everybody. And that might just be rules are rules. I don't know.
It's almost
The
like
GPS thing would be so easy though.
Right.
'Cause
Yeah.
the car already has that.
Right.
Could just look at a dotted line on a map. Where were all of the safety docks reported? And they're all concentrated on one track. Be like, okay, discount.
so. Then technically,
doesn't-
could you just take your Tesla off roading and go like crazy speeds around dirt road corners
Technically.
that aren't logged as a road?
That's
I don't know.
That's a good
These
question.
are good questions.
Because I can then
these are
just
great
go into
questions.
a cornfield and then just do crazy turns in my Y and not have to worry about it affecting my score.
Yeah. Maybe the safety factors should be based on like when you are on public streets. If you're off public streets, you got to do what you got to do. But if you're on like an official road,
So I can go crazy
that's
on
when we're
private
recording.
roads then.
I saw some people, Kilowatts was complaining on Twitter about the safety scores should be tied to drivers, not vehicles, because of they don't want people that like rent out their vehicles on Turo to be able to request the beta / influence the driving patterns or influence the safety reports and say like, let's pin this to a specific profile in the car instead of the vehicle itself.
That makes sense for people who are married, like all of us, where
Yeah.
if we get in our car, there's our profile, but then there's our spouse who also drives. Maybe they might be more aggressive or maybe you might be more aggressive,
Yeah.
and that'll affect...
Honey, why is our safety score 80%?
I don't agree with that synopsis though, because you buy FSD for the vehicle, not for the profile. So this should follow
that
the
too.
vehicle. I wish we could buy it for the profile, but then Tesla wouldn't make money because it would follow that person for the rest of their Tesla life, that they would have a car with Tesla. So I understand why that
Well, I
isn't
think-
a thing.
Yeah.
Can I get
think
a
they were
family
referring to the
plan?
safety scores, not so much FSD.
But the safety score is about FSD. That's where we're hypothesizing this will be for the insurance, but what we can unequivocally say is this is for FSD. and we paid for FSD for the vehicle, so it's going to monitor the vehicle, not the driver. And if people are using Turo to lease their vehicle out for people to make some money, that's between you and that company, not between you and Tesla. Tesla is not. It's not. It doesn't have a bias towards one or the other. That's not a Tesla business relation, nor a Tesla liability. So what you do with your vehicle and whatever other company, whether it's Turo or anything else like that, that's between you and them. Tesla has no involvement in that, so they don't care. And why should they bend their back to accommodate other people's business relations with that car? I get it. I wouldn't go as far as say I agree. I don't do it, but I get that stance, and that's a decision everybody has to make now. If they've bought FSD if you bought FSD for a vehicle that you're renting out now, you're already running the risk that car could get in an accident and you could lose that car and you could lose your FSD. So I kind of feel like you assume that risk, and if you don't, then you didn't think it through. So
yeah, I guess they're trying to. Their mindset is differentiating FSD from FSD Beta. Basically, someone who's been proven to be reliable that's been added to the beta. I think in the current way it works, I've been keeping up with Warren Redlick on the Inspiration 420 drive with Omar and everything, and they've been saying that people in the beta right now can't let other people drive the car. Like, if you're on the beta, they only want you driving it. You can't be like, hey, let's let my friend try out the beta and they'll drive it now. It's like, no, you're only allowed this specific driver.
What about the spouse? Like, let's just say you and your spouse share a Model 3 and you've got the FSD beta on there. Can your spouse just not drive a car anymore?
She can drive it. I just think they probably either turn off the beta or, as far as I can hear, they're asking you not to. It's like, there's probably 2,000 people, so it may not be like someone sitting there watching every person get behind the wheel, but like people have been asking of like, can I try the vehicle with the beta mode turned on? And they're like, no, it's like approved users only. I don't know what the spouse rule is, but I'm guessing it's just like, just go into settings and turn off the beta features and then they can drive it and that's fine. But if the beta's on, they want specific people in control for now.
I get these precautions. Tesla is, once again, has a spotlight on them for doing something that's never been done before, and they're going to do everything they can to make sure that they don't get, or they're going to try to mitigate as much bad PR and inevitable lawsuits and this, that, and the other as they can. It's the price of doing business for doing stuff like this. Tesla's doing what they got to do, and I would feel a little jaded if I was somebody who if I was the spouse of, if, you know, say Brittany was the one who had her Cybertruck and FSD and I didn't have a Model 3. I'm like, man, I want to use it. But at the same time, I would also feel a little jaded as Tesla, the company, when it's like, every time I give you guys an inch, you guys sue me. And so, no, we're going to take it, we're going to have a controlled environment. So I understand that standpoints too. Somebody has to give. There's a compromise all around for all of this. We compromise in the sense of waiting so long. That's our compromise. And even though I have numerous times complained about the timing of this, it does not supersede safety and all that stuff. And if Tesla approved 2,000 people or 2,000 vehicles, but within those 2,000 vehicles, 4,000 people are driving, that you just doubled your liability risk that Tesla wasn't ready to assume.
Yeah,
that's fair. Yeah, if you're on Turo, you've got a higher risk vehicle as is. There's a bunch more people going to be using it, and on top of that, you don't know these people that well, so you can understand them being like, "No, we're going to see how safe your renters are," and dock them if they're not safe either. So
make a temporary profile. No.
Yeah, temporary profile.
They'll just use yours.
Because they're probably want to avoid the potential of, well, I'm guessing Kilowatts is fine with that too. They don't want people to get FSD Beta on the car and then be able to rent out that car. to anybody. That would be potentially dangerous, which is why I think they're proposing like a pinned protected driver profile. So like guests drive it and it's normal, but if the owner takes it back, they put in their profile and enter a pin, and then they get the beta again. I kind of get it, but it's messy.
Yeah, but then who's stopping the spouse from just asking, hey, or the guest, hey, can I get your pin? The person says yes. Like, there's not much.
It's integrity. It's all about integrity at that point. You know, they're not Tesla's not needing to be a police and enforce things, but there has to be a bit of an honor system.
I don't remember this splash screen when downloading the Tesla app. This is new.
Oh, is that new?
At least I don't remember it.
It's been so long, I couldn't.
It's got some shots I haven't seen.
It's all on the Model Y.
It knows already.
Yeah, it just knows. Yes, this is your Model Y, right?
It got the color wrong though, but it's okay.
It's the staple color of the Model Y, I'd argue.
Blue.
But
So my guess is 95% is the bar to entry. What's your guess, Randy?
90.
Okay, bit lower. So A- or better.
I'd say giving it A. I feel like 90. Ask me again, or you know what? I'll just give her up in a week. I'll give an update, but I need to go for more of a drive to see how, and for multiple days, because I just need to see how this is all calculated. Depending on how much there's a fluctuation on that will really dictate my answer. But I feel like anything that's an A is always passing, and that's good, and it's better than good enough. It's good. It's really good. It's an A. So I wish we could see what Mike had, so that way we can compare and contrast. I'm a 99 out of 100, and that's me trying to do the best I can.
all right, delete the app, re-download the app. It's still not there. No clue why.
Darn.
I'll have to go to the car and check it out.
But you know what?
Has the car been... The car probably needs time to back up the data, right?
Maybe it's just based on my location. No.
Does it have Wi-Fi?
Oh, there is a
connected?
thing. Yeah, so there's a thing about. Oh goodness, where is it? Somewhere in the post, they talked about how if you go somewhere where you don't have connectivity, what happens? I think it just gets logged and then waits until
it gets connected again.
Yeah.
This is one of those things where it's going to use the cellular over the air regardless, just to send those logs back, and so all that's going to get updated, whether you have connectivity or not. They'll find a way. They always find a way.
I see it. It says if you're like you said, if you're driving in a place without cellular connectivity, you don't need premium connectivity, by the way. You may not receive immediate feedback upon the end of your trip. You will receive your updated driving information and safety score once your vehicle has connectivity. So as long as it has Wi-Fi, maybe your Wi-Fi is slow and it's taking time to back up or something.
We all know that I'm on
Wi-Fi
potato.
with my car, and I got everything's fine.
But it has cellular.
Yeah, you might be in a better cellular area than me.
Oh, well, I doubt that. I'm in the boonies, guys.
I'm a bit far away from the bay. I'm in the bay. I'm a bit far away from.
I wouldn't be shocked if Mike has worse cellular. Yeah, I'm looking at the screenshot you texted us. You've got 4 bars.
I got 4 bars in my car, or
yeah, on the picture you texted me that says request full self-driving beta. There's 4 bars of LTE.
That's not.
You got it.
That's not. That's inaccurate. I promise. That's inaccurate. The same way you have like a signal booster in your house to give you better cell, but it's really based off of the internet speed. Those bars really only do that when I'm Bluetoothed in. Not Bluetooth. I'm sorry, hotspot. The same way it's doing my Wi-Fi stuff. That because I'm all hotspot and stuff like that. And my hotspot itself, even though it says I have a strong signal strength, it is at best 2 bars of LTE happening.
Well, I don't know how it worked then. If it's not on Wi-Fi and it's not on cellular, but you got the data.
Look, I don't.
It's got to be on one.
I don't think it's me. I think there's something wrong with Mike's pulling this with the servers or something that's trying to pull down or whatever with the app. My part feels more natural. I just had to do a hard reset on my phone, and then that came up. I feel like
he needs a new iPhone.
He needs a new iPhone. That's what it is.
Well, I've got right
using
here
an iPhone 4
a
or
new
5.
iPhone right here.
Yeah.
Just a 5S. I think this should work, right? Or,
yeah, go back.
I'll go back.
Future to the back.
Instead of forward. Which is still back.
That's the solution.
I'll just use an iPad. Yeah. One other thing that I'm a little bit angry about is Tesla changed the location of the shareholder meeting just yesterday.
Shoot.
As of recording. So instead of holding it at Fremont, which usually they hold the shareholder meetings here in California, either in Fremont or in the past in Mountain View, where they bring a couple vehicles for the public to look at, and then those who want to enter the shareholder meeting physically can. They double backed on it, so instead of having it at Fremont and then maybe having a room or sitting outside in cars or whatever, doing the shareholder meeting stuff, they've moved it to Austin, and instead of being physical, now it's just virtual. So even if you're in Austin, I don't think you're even allowed on Giga Texas soil at
you get
the
yelled
current
at.
moment.
Apparently, I know. I could
think
tell
you might. Well, let me read the article again, because I don't understand. If it's all virtual, why would they have it? Why would they say
it says
it's
virtual meeting format, where it's all going to be live video webcasts.
I believe they stream it as well, but
yeah,
if it was all done live, what would be the point in changing the location?
Because they want
they're
to
leaving California, Drew. They're not even going to be there.
Elon's still upset over all the stuff that happened in 2020.
Yep.
Well, that's what I thought the thought process was. It will be presented from Gigafactory Austin.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe they actually finally built a Cybertruck.
Hey.
And they want to show off
great.
a more accurate
I mean, we keep
Cybertruck.
seeing all these little pieces. So
I was thinking they were going to have the first Texas-built Model Y there and say, like, hey, it's ready. We're
sense.
close to full production.
Yeah, that makes more sense than a Cybertruck.
Even though the world already saw it on Twitter like a month ago.
Yeah, unofficially, but yeah.
Interesting.
Shareholders don't care about Twitter. That's why they keep yelling at Elon. They want official press releases. They want the news press version, the one that's going to get covered on CNN and CNET and all that. Not Twitter. Those renegades.
Well, I'm still upset. This is going to be my first time seeing the Cybertruck, and I think
the rest of it.
Yeah, I only saw the light bar, and that was during AI Day, which already I was just like, "Ooh, that light bar is beautiful," but that's all I can see.
I was planning to meet up with Mike that day too. We were gonna go make a day out of it. Hopefully, film the beta, go out there, check out the truck, have our Randy moment.
I guess we just have to drive all the way to Austin to find the Cybertruck then.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah, it's probably out there.
I don't like to share that space, so I made some calls and I was like, I don't want these guys to go, and they said, okay.
It can't be. He has some connections. It can't be in person.
It can't.
But do you think they're trying to like move their official headquarters to Texas as soon as possible so that they can avoid corporate tax?
Absolutely.
I think they're tired of the West Coast. Yeah. I'm pretty sure what's happening is they're going to try to get Gig Austin as developed as possible, then move headquarters either into Gig Austin or a plot nearby, and then all that will be left of Tesla in the Bay Area is the Fremont factory in terms of mass scale corporate headquarter type of thing, and maybe there's some offices here, but otherwise it's going to be more of a shell of itself here. Which
I don't know what they actually have to do, like to officially say this is HQ now, like this is where we're stationed out of, because they had an earnings call out of there already.
They have to change their business address.
Can't that be done?
Yeah, I feel like that could be done now.
Do you need a building for that?
I mean, for tax purposes, I kind of just feel like you need to update your mailing address, really, and that's
Yeah, you just say, we're in Iceland.
Yeah.
You know, that's where we're based out.
No taxes. Yeah, but then you get import taxes. Yeah.
I think there's some paperwork to it and a lot of other validation and other things that they have to go through to at least prove that, yes, we are here. Here's where our headquarters is. Tax us this way, I guess.
Tax us this way.
Welcome to America, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm pretty annoyed. Now I have to wait until, I don't know, next year to see the Cybertruck, assuming that it doesn't ever come to the Bay ever again.
Hopefully.
You're in the wrong state, gentlemen. I don't know what to tell you. You're in the wrong state.
Okay,
so
East
are
Coast,
you,
man.
technically.
Yeah.
I am an idea. I go to all states. I can go to wherever that. You know what? I think this is a bait and switch tactic. I think we're gonna see things still happen at Fremont in regards to Cybertruck, just because it's good PR to let your mascot do a world tour on visiting the it lifts morale. It's like, we're fighting for this. Like, it's a symbol. It's the Batman, for God's sake. It's like, yeah, you're for all intents and purposes. I think Cybertruck should be on the West Coast for a little bit at Fremont, just to. If you were an employee working at Fremont, knowing darn well nobody wants anything to do with that place, and maybe even you feel like, man, I don't even want to be here, but my job's here and all that. Internally, morale boosting would be important, especially knowing how stressful it is to work at Tesla. Here, bring the mascot through, around, which is Cybertruck, and let it do its thing. And Cybertruck doesn't need to be at Texas right now. Cybertruck doesn't need to be at Texas until end of 2022 when production would start anyway.
It didn't need to be in New York though, Randy, but it went to New York.
That is very, very true. That one I'm still trying to figure out. But
there was no logical reason why it was supposed to be
because he was hosting SNL.
So what? He didn't drive it. We never saw him in the vehicle.
He agreed to do it because it's all PR. It's promo stage,
But it was already here for PR. It was already shown to be at AI Day, or at least it was reported by those who went to AI Day.
Cybertruck and SNL and New York and all that wasn't meant for us. That was meant for the cynics and the skeptics and everything else like that. We don't need to be sold on it. We're already there. We're not its target audience. Going to New York and doing SNL and all that stuff, it's all about PR. That's it. It's promo. It's all promo. And
despite the lack of PR department,
because we're the PR, but do now. Take it out of all that. Where is it at right now? Nobody knows. So it should be at Fremont, because Fremont, God knows, needs all the morale boosting it can have.
Nah, it's gonna hang out in LA.
I think they'll have it at the annual meeting. It'll just be cruising around Giga Texas. They'll keep it dirty, just have it in the background, just to say people, we're gonna build these here, but it's technically a prototype. It doesn't need to be anywhere. That's not going. No one's gonna take delivery of that one. So
no, I would say Fremont, or at least the Bay Area, the Greater Bay Area, is more likely to see the Roadster at this point than the Cybertruck anymore. Just with Giga Texas.
I'll give you that. Just
because Giga Texas is finally ramping up, and at the same time, they're still trying to figure this thing out, apparently, or at least maybe they have it fully designed. There's so many different reports on whether they finished design yet or not, or they just did finish design. I don't know who to believe these days, but at least I would expect it to be in LA for those who are still tinkering around with a few things, such as maybe the compartments on the side that they showed a very brief glimpse of during the Cybertruck unveiling, or anything else. There's a whole bunch of different features that they're probably practicing or testing on it just to see, will this work under whatever life expectancy that we think this vehicle can survive, or at least have. So
do you think they feel threatened because of Ford Lightning? You think they need to have a status symbol in Texas, the heartland and all that with the Cybertruck, just because Ford Lightning is gonna steal all its thunder.
I wouldn't say that they're afraid and or worried. I would say they're more of it's a push to get there sooner. Where I don't think there's any laziness at Tesla in regards to we could spare a few months to try to get this right. It's more of we need to get this right. What's the quickest route, but also not the most destructive route for the company or the product. So it's more of just navigating some of those little side roads or eddies that are in the design and production process.
It's not fair that Tesla has such a big target on their back. You know, being the privileged child, it's not fair. But it's like we care more about what Tesla's about to do with Cybertruck than we do Rivian, even though they've made it to production now, technically. We care more about...
Delivery,
delivery, sorry, yeah. We care more about Cybertruck over Rivian, which is a great startup for its what its vision is. More than Ford, with its Lightning being the most Ford branding being the most popular there is in North America. I feel like the stressors that Tesla is getting with Cybertruck and making it to that deadline, you know, how can we get there the quickest, is they do anything wrong or right, but they only remember the wrong. You do anything wrong, and they're going to hold on to that. Whereas I bet if Ford came out right now and said, "Hey, we're going to be delayed 6 months," they'll be like, "Oh, all right, well, get to it." Tesla says the same thing. Cybertruck's going to be delayed 6 months from now, end of 2022, and the stock is going to fall. Like people are going to get mad, riot, take to the streets. There's almost like this expectations of excellence and perfection, and Tesla's been going against the tide its whole existence. And so in this sense, they're used to it, but it shouldn't be, we got to get it right and we got to get it fast. It should just be, we got to get it right and understand that this is a whole new market, and they are already first to virtually everything else when it comes to the EV space. So the fact that Ford is piggybacking off of, this is all just a response to Cybertruck and the Model Y. Good on Ford and now everyone else who wants to move forward in the EV industry, but this is all an afterthought for them. And so I don't even think anybody else takes the other stuff seriously. But when Tesla does something, they're going to take it all seriously, the same way we take the FSD seriously, the same way they take this Roadster, which is just not a gimmick, but it's another status symbol. It's another mascot. But people take it seriously because it's that, what's it called, enthusiast brand, you know? People are just so like, no, Tesla, it is a lifestyle. It's an enthusiast brand. Where Ford, it's like, it's been around. It's supposed to be more mature and all that. But and poor Rivian, like, hey, we're here. Who? I have asked people. Hey, what do you guys think about the Rivian truck? The what?
What's a Rivian?
The Tesla Rivian truck? No, Rivian's the company, and nobody knows. Like. It's a double standard. It almost feels like it's weird, but
that's the struggle that you have as a startup.
Yeah,
you get compared to the EV1 when you're making amazing luxury sedans, and then in the end you just get poked at for your panel gaps, even though that you made this amazing product. So it's a tough game. It's a very tough game, and Elon said multiple times that it's not easy. It's really tough just to get something to mass market. So it's.
Are you tempted to get a Rivian, Mike?
So it would be pretty fun. There's one of your EV Q&As that you did this week. Someone asked, like, if you had the choice, would you either buy a Tesla or buy a house or whatever? Like, if you had to decide between the two. And it made me think, well, if you just got a Rivian, you've already got the kitchen that comes out of the truck, and then you already have like a tent/bed on the back of the bed on top of it, and then you've got a nice EV that can go 300 or when it comes out 400 miles, and you don't have to worry too much. So it sounds like a pretty good deal, but it doesn't tow, and my spouse really wants a vehicle that can tow and go long range, and it
doesn't tow at all.
No, it tows. I guess what I should say, it doesn't tow what we need. We require a certain amount of or not tonnage, but we tow a certain amount of weight with
I
the
am
horses.
not that heavy.
Randy, we're not going to get into this, but
Randy towable.
yeah, for going long trips with a truck and having a trailer on the back, it's good to have long range. And the only truck that can provide that, assuming you get a certain hit on range due to just inefficiencies in towing due to aerodynamics and friction on the wheels and all that, it's going to have to be the Cybertruck with the tri-motor. If Rivian made a R2T or an R3T or whatever like that, which are equivalent to the 2500 and 3500 Rams and Chevys, or 250s and 350 Fords, it'd be a consideration. But
so does the tri-motor Cybertruck the only one that has the towing capability you need?
So it's not necessarily capability, it's we could get by with the dual motor, and even the single motor technically you could get by, but it's all about the range, right? So if you've got 500 miles of range, you add on 2 really big animals to the back of it along with a trailer that's holding them, it's going to decrease your range from 500 to, you can conservatively say half, but it's usually like I think 30 to 40% or something like that.
Yep.
It's going to get you down from 500 down to 300 or something like that. And that's assuming that you're not running the air conditioner on full on a hot day.
Right.
And you're not making certain detours or other things. So the Cybertruck is currently the only vehicle that will support what we want. If Rivian came out with an R2T or R3T, that'll change. Or if Dodge and Chevy came out with EVs that have really good long range and good towing capability, it'd be in consideration, along with the fact that superchargers would open up to third parties. But this is all very much like ifs and buts, and if Tesla does open up the supercharging network. So we just don't know. But
I see.
I don't know. What I do know, though, is I'm pretty annoyed with the referral program changing. I think that happened shortly after we recorded the last podcast.
Oh, that's right. It did.
And
that sucks.
We no longer can use our referral links to get free supercharging miles. Not for ourselves. I mean, I like getting free supercharging miles, but for others who are joining in the game.
Mm-hmm. That was a great welcoming gift to everybody making the transition to electric. I mean, financially, it makes perfect sense as to why they got rid of it, because it was probably costing them tens of millions of dollars a year, and the only reason to have a referral program is because you want to increase demand, which, if anything, Tesla probably wants to lower demand right now, because I saw this morning they just updated the Model Y delivery estimates to April. So it is really pushed out already, and the chip shortage and everything's not helping with that. So
that's over half a year.
Yeah,
just to get your car.
It's a long time. So
you might as well just order it now and see what comes first, Model Y or Cybertruck at this point.
If
Y.
This trend continues, if the trend continues, you might be waiting the same amount of time as I did for my Y. I ordered it, I think, in March of 2019, and I got it in April of 2020. So basically a year.
Wow.
Never.
Dang.
Never say never.
Never.
Like, this may sound selfish, but I think content creators are the ones hurt the most by the referral program getting rid of, because they benefited the most. You know, like, not that they needed it. They'll live fine without it. It's not like boohoo end of the world problem, but it's still like people just ordering a car for themselves and using a referral code. They got basically somewhere between like $60 to $70 worth of charging. It's not a huge impact, but people that made content and shared the referral code in lots of places, they were getting hundreds of dollars worth of savings through referring people, and potentially thousands if they got enough referral credits. So they they got to like basically have free supercharging because of how many they've collected. And this may be a delayed reaction. You know, it's going to take a while for them to use up all their miles or for their miles to expire. But, you know, they're probably the ones going to get hit the most, because now, even if you spend $140,000 on your Tesla and you have 10 million subscribers, yeah, you don't get any perks, which granted, you don't need them. If you can afford a car like that, you can afford it all. But that's just who I see it, like smaller creators and that kind of thing. Not even like the million subscriber channels. Like I know a lot of EV channels with under 100,000 subscribers who still benefit a lot from the referral program, and they don't have to charge basically ever for supercharging, and now they're gonna have to. So it's probably
I'm under 100,000. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Are you through yet with your free miles?
No.
How many you got left?
1,600.
Oh wow!
Somebody just ordered before it changed. I got another referral.
Oh, good.
Do you have any other pending ones that are ordered but not delivered?
No.
Ooh, so the well's dry.
Yeah, this is it. This is the last of the last, which is, I mean, this is all. Think like smartphone companies like OnePlus. This is all market share promo anyway. I knew this wasn't gonna last. Nothing that's a referral or any type of buy one get one type of a thing. Those things don't last. It's all about just trying to get market share, and it's only a matter of time before solar goes away too. Like before that's so common that solar won't even be an offer. I suspect, and we even talked about this. We hypothesized this, that it'll turn to software features like FSD for a month or premium connectivity for a month. Stuff like that will become the thing, because it costs Tesla nothing, and we still get a benefit out of it that does have a dollar amount between $10 to $100. You know, like all that added hoopla will something that we would be paying anyway, and it doesn't cost Tesla anything because it's their infrastructure. We'll see that be the new referral bonus. Get so and so amount of FSD for 30 days, 90 days.
I like that idea. I feel like that would do better.
I think it will. And you know why? Another thing why I don't really care is because I'm charging from a wall outlet. That even back in San Diego when I was driving all the time, it was a wall outlet. I avoided supercharging stations just because if I'm not going out of my way, I'm waiting in a line. If I'm not waiting in a line, I don't want to go too far because I don't want to get hit with that idle fee. Like there's always stipulations. I did it out of a necessity, not because I wanted to. At no point did I ever want to do it. It was a necessity.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate everybody who ever used my referral code and stuff like that, and I got less than 2 years to use it up, but it was too good to be true to begin with. So over the last 2 years, I am just so grateful that it even happened. I can't be bummed about something I never expected to even really happen. The fact that I even had eight people use my referral code is amazing. Some people don't get that, and what's done is done with that. But this is again a benefit. Like we could be like, oh, the glass is half empty, but this is a benefit of being an early adopter. I had 2 years of free supercharging, and I technically have less than 2 more years because it expires in April for me of 2024. I technically had about 4 years of free supercharging based off of just referrals and being the advertisement for people and stuff like that. So that's a blessing within itself. You know, we huff and puff. A couple of weeks ago, I huff and puff that like being an early adopter means I have to wait so long for FSD and things aren't perfect and stuff like that. So that's negative. But the positive is we got cool things like this. There are still charging stations, not supercharging stations, but there are still charging stations that will let you charge for free. That's like faster than a 110 outlet, you know, and those are free. Charge up or charge point or whatever. Those, things
not
like
charge
that.
point.
Those are still. Those are.
I've used ChargePoint before, and you have to pay. But yeah, probably Charge Up. I think sounds familiar.
Volta is it then? Maybe it's Volta. I'm thinking one of those.
That does sound more familiar. I've seen a few of those at Safeways or other locations here in California.
I used one of those, and then even public parking spaces too. When I used to work on base, I would park outside the gate, which is by a trolley and a train station, and there's these charging stations there. No-name charging stations. I'd plug in, and at the end of the day, when I left work to go home, I would have a full battery. I didn't pay, so that's again another bonus, a benefit of being an early adopter, that this stuff is free, and I know darn well that will not be the case maybe in less than 24 months. So I'll take the wins where they are, but long term, talking like a decade from now and going into the future, I would rather have FSD as a subscription for future vehicles now be free, and use that as my incentive to try to recruit or promote or premium connectivity, something that I can have more functionality. Because right now, I have 1,600 miles still just sitting, waiting for another road trip or something. It's not an active thing that's being used. Whereas premium connectivity is active. FSD is active, so you get more use case out of it. It's not a passive reward. So long term, I get it. It's cool that we had it. If I had to choose, I would continue collecting the miles personally, but that's just because I know how good it is long term. But it's not sustainable for Tesla to always do that. It's going to cost them money. It does cost them money, but you have to go in the hole to get market share like that, and it worked to the point where Model Ys are 6 months out right now. So it really worked.
Yeah, worked a little too well.
Yeah.
Was a factor, though. I was thinking, like, someday if I get one, I could use all my referral credits and I wouldn't have to pay for road trips. And now I'm like, no, okay, scratch that dream off.
Yeah.
Won't happen. Oh, well.
I think
it's still cheaper than gas at the end of the day.
Yep. Very much. I think the incentive to the fact that you get a car that's electric, which already, like, yeah, you're paying a little bit more than a regular gas car. But you don't have to pay for electricity, or at least charging it up for the first 1,000 miles of its life, was not a bad thought. A lot of people that I've talked to, I'm like, hey, you can get a free 1,000 miles of supercharging. They're like, what? It was definitely a tipping point for them. I've got 5 people left on my referral code waiting to have their deliveries happen. So after that, my well of water is gone, I guess, in terms of having supercharging miles. But I appreciate every single one of them that I've had in the past do it and get their cars. I'm sure some of them are Model S orders, and some of them are, or a lot of them are Model 3 and Y reservations. One of them is my friend who's still waiting for her Model 3, which is supposed to be delivered beginning of October. So,
oh wow,
it's coming up
soon.
Yeah, won't be an iron-based battery, but it'll still be a pretty nice standard range.
Oh, right.
Nice.
Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of them. A lot of standard range Model 3s. They look great, too. I haven't found any with QC problems as far as I can tell.
But yeah, it's a bittersweet, not maybe bittersweet, but at least it's an ending that was kind of expected, but it was still kind of sad to see.
Absolutely.
Like the changing of the times.
End of an era.
Yeah, changing of the times from a startup company, like very much like we need incentives to get people to join us, to kind of like we don't really need that anymore. Now it's just all about getting better at building these cars.
You could say I was there back when they gave 1,000 miles of supercharging. I was there.
And some were there for unlimited supercharging.
I was there. Yes, Grandpa Mike, we know.
Family relative of mine still has a unlimited supercharging Model S, so I bet he laughs a lot at us crying about no referral credit. He's like, "Oh, what? There's a referral program? Didn't know about that. I was too busy charging."
At least I can go over 100 miles on a charge.
Ooh. Or at least I can charge quicker.
That too. At least I have FSD.
For the record, though, he still goes 250 on a charge.
Oh, that's where I'm about sitting. Well, FSD.
I'm getting there.
There you go. There's something.
Yeah.
I don't think he'll get FSD. His is a 2015 Model S.
If I had to choose between unlimited supercharging for life or FSD, I would take FSD.
Really? Okay.
I'd go the opposite. I
know.
really like the unlimited supercharging.
I know.
It's not a crazy hit on the wallet, I'd say, but it's enough to where it's peace of mind. You don't have to worry about it. You plug in the car, that's it. Yeah. You don't have to think about how much like kilowatt hour or cents per kilowatt or anything like that. You don't have to do the mental calcs if you have to.
But Mike, this is because you and I are still pre-FSD. It will change the moment we have it. We'll be like, I never want to look back ever again. And when that comes, we'll be like, yeah, I'll take FSD over charging miles, because we buy Teslas for the tech, not for the mileage.
Yeah.
No, not
so.
Everybody.
For the
no.
tech.
Actually, we have wives that will completely disagree, and they'll be like, no, I'll take the miles. Yeah.
Both of our wives, yeah.
Well, Mike drives, I think, a lot more than Randy does.
Yeah.
That also might explain why.
But when I drive, oh boy, do I go dumb. That when I drive, I'm going to Ohio. I'm going to New York. I'm going to I'm not going to the grocery store.
Who goes to Ohio?
I'm trying to escape. I do. I got family, Michael.
Who goes to Ohio?
Randy does to go see family, you jerk. Not everything can be the Bay, even though I got family in the Bay too.
Yeah, well, we got a whole bunch of fires over here, so maybe that'll change.
Speaking of, I'll be back
point.
in the Bay in January. Just throwing that out there.
Oh, well. We'll do a meetup.
Yeah.
Are you bringing your car? Or are you flying?
That's coming up.
No. Brittany doesn't have that type of leave on the books. We have to fly. We would rather take advantage of time with people, family and friends, than another road trip. Especially since I only got 16,000 miles left of supercharging. I'd rather just save that for a rainy day.
Well, I guess those who follow the Tesla Experience channel look forward to some Model Y footage in the future, I guess.
I actually look forward to a video later on today of recording this, because I've been documenting the whole button process. Oh, my brother's calling me.
I'm about to press it. I'm gonna press it. I pressed it.
Here comes the press.
Look, guys, look at this. Look at all the...
Oh, no.
All the FaceTime.
All the iPhones.
Welcome to my nightmare.
Guess that brings it to a good time to wrap up. Do you have final thoughts, everybody?
I can't wait. I think I speak for Mike as well, but I can't wait to report back in a week to let you guys, everybody know how this whole safety score things, and keep us updated, Mike, if you get the score.
You have been approved. Can't wait for that email.
Oh, that'd be nice. Yeah, still no button in terms of seeing my data. So, I guess final thought is,
all right.
Hopefully we see something cool at the shareholder meeting, which I think we'll have one more week before that. Is it the 7th? Yeah.
Yes.
I think one last episode before shareholder. But we're a week away from delivery numbers.
Hey.
For Q3.
There we go.
That's good.
So that should be big.
It's a good time. It's a good time.
Another record breaker.
I
Probably.
can't wait.
Another one.
Another one. Another one.
All right.
Sounds good. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Hope you have an excellent rest of your week. Take
Bye.
care. Press them buttons. Bye-bye.